Hello, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation, and for something a little bit different, this is something that was sent to me from Small Gold, and it's quite a fascinating treasure that is going to be displayed at the British Museum from the Scythians. And some of you may not know who these people are, but may have heard the term. They're nomadic people that traveled across a vast territory for sure, and they covered quite a large area in Siberia and part of Eastern Europe, down into what is now known as Iran and Persia area, and they have a vast area for which they roamed. But so a little bit about these people and how this ties in with precious metals, because they knew their metal and they enjoyed it. Yea, though they were a nomadic peoples. They were formidable warriors, and I think that's why their reign and their vast territory was as such, because they knew how to fight, and they had some quite extensive weapons that they had. These small bows that were engineered just right. It's a powerful new type of bow that was made from different layers of wood and sinew, and much more powerful than the larger regular wooden bows, so they could be fired efficiently from different places. And many of them, some were saying that they're like you saw in 300, a vast array of arrows that would block out the sun. These are the type of people that could do that. Quite fascinating indeed. And here we see some imagery and some artifacts from the Scythian people, showcasing their warrior and nature, and the fact with their bows and arrows there. And here we see some of the arrowheads themselves, and they actually dip their arrows in poison. And so very, very interesting indeed. And when they were on foot, they had a battle axe with a long, narrow pointed blade, sort of like a pickaxe. So that was quite fascinating. Very fearsome people for sure. And they also were nomads, and there you see them traveling with the horses and the like, and this gold belt plaque, such as, very, very nice, and very interesting that they were able to, they really didn't settle, so they really didn't have furniture and the like. They just had what they could carry with them, so their possessions were relatively few, and were as such that could be traveled with very easily. And since they're nomadic people, it's obvious that they love their horses. And they were master riders of horses through the plains and the steppe landscape that made up much of their territory from which they roamed. Very interesting indeed. So they took care of the horses and even provided them with ornamentation, as you see here with the horse headgear that is shown in this, depicted in this image. And they also liked to get drunk and high. Yes, they didn't bathe with water, they bathed with marijuana vapor. And also was a sort of a weed sauna that they talked about here, as is described here. And so they didn't bathe with water, but they enjoyed the pain-relieving effects of marijuana. So that did come in handy when they were riding in battle for sure. And they were also tattooed. Here is some mummified skin from a Scythian tattoo, and you can see the markings there. And in this image here, you can see some of the tattoos that were representative of the Scythian people. Quite interesting and fascinating. Look at the detail in some of those. And they also like their bling, and this is where the tie is. That the Scythian craftsmen were good at casting metal. They worked gold, bronze, and iron using a combination of techniques, like casting, forging, and inlaying with other materials. And what's surprising to me is that none of these require large amounts of equipment, and Siberia is rich in metal ores, which we knew. That's actually some of the largest platinum mines are in Siberia. Yea, though they didn't discover platinum, but it did require skill. And there will be many exquisite examples of Scythian metalwork that is actually going to be displayed at the British Museum. They also mummified their dead, and I will say this particular case, Many in the northern parts were very well preserved with what they could find, what archaeologists could find of their dead. That's very fascinating. Here's a wooden coffin that was discovered. Uh, so very interesting indeed. And this is the the museum is going to have this display starting very soon. If you're in the United Kingdom, it might be something worth checking out. You can see pieces like this this gold belt plaque. Apparently this went on a belt to somebody, but look how intricate that work is. Very, very nice indeed. Very interesting. And it's as one half of a symmetrical belt buckle. And it would have belonged to a Scythian nobility, perhaps royalty. Gold was associated with the sun and royal power in their culture. And so here we can see in this particular piece, it shows a deceased man, a female deity with a high ponytail, and a tree of life, which you've seen the tree of life depicted in as much as Mr. Zeke's work. And it's a very interesting, fascinating. And here's a false beard, other materials that will be displayed at the British Museum. This one here is a deer-shaped plaque, and it's gold as well, but look at the intricate detail in that. The fact they could shape the metal in such a way, as such, it would rival anything even some of the modern silver pourers of today can do. Nice. Very nice indeed. Fascinating. And there's some other artifacts here that are not gold, but this here is another gold plaque with a hare hunt. Kol Oba, northern Black Sea region, first half of the 4th century. Nice, and this is in the State Hermitage Museum of St. Petersburg, 2017. Look at that, just amazing for that time period. And look at the composition and how accurately depicted the horses and the man as well. Very interesting. And so we see there's other things. Here's some other pieces that aren't necessarily part of the exhibit, but are associated with the Scythian people. Some very nice gold pieces here. Again, look at that face and the intricacies of all of these things. Very, very nice indeed. Here's a very intricate, appears to be a necklace made of gold with different, what appears to be either some sort of a griffin or Pegasus type creatures here, and horse-like. That is how much the horses are involved in their culture and how important it is to their nomadic lifestyle and travel and the like. And here, something very interesting. It's a gold comb. This is a Scythian comb. And look at that detail. And there's a horse and they're in battle and the like. Very, very nice. An intricate piece there. That would be a fine piece for any collection made of gold. There you go. So that's a little bit of an insight into the Scythian people. The British Museum will be showcasing many of these pieces. Any of my friends in the United Kingdom that are so inclined to go to the British Museum, sneak in a camera, take a shot or two, even if they're not allowed. Do it for me, do it for the people. Love to see what these look like more closely. Post your thoughts below on this, and thank you again, Small Gold, for the heads up on this particular exhibit and display and article on the Scythians. Learned a lot researching this. I'd like to extend the multitude of gratitude y'all for watching and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.